Man, we getting dirty.
Yeah, yes, we are. And now I have my camera on as well. So
I was wondering.
you want to get dirty in the dark.
Nah, that's not gonna work. It
Yeah,
never
that might be
works.
that may be for another podcast. But
Not mine. That's your private
no,
podcast.
that's not, yeah,
Uh,
that's
yeah, how you
not
make
even
your
go
extra
there.
money, your side hustle.
Right. Yes, my OnlyFans, my secret OnlyFans account.
Screen Heat OF,
Yes, another thing Miami's known for is the nation's OnlyFans
the
capital.
only
So
fan capital. Oh, but you know that West Palm was already like the porn capital.
yes, between that and Broward, yeah, we get all the interesting parts of the audiovisual industry.
You know what my mom always says what they did is they they took the United States and shook it,
Oof.
and all of the weird stuff
Right.
settled to the bottom.
That's right. As Pitbull will say, the dirty, dirty, the
The
bottom,
dirty. Yeah,
the
the dirty.
305, Dolly.
Yeah, the industry's getting dirty though, man.
Yeah, there's a lot of shakeup in the industry, which we're
I
definitely
guess
going
I
to.
should have said there's a big shakeup.
Yes, yes, yeah. Can you make movies with non-established IPs that are a success at the box office that don't cost $200 million?
That's the way it was. It
Yes,
was like that before.
it
Then here
was.
comes Tentpole and Marvel and all that stuff that changed the game. But it looks like it's going back and bringing the youth back with it. So that's cool. We'll talk about this after the cut. But we got to give some love to ourselves. I'm Kevin Sharpley,
I'm J.L. Martinez.
Screen Heat Miami with our sponsors,
Yes, we'll start with Kamakol,
Kajik Multimedia
the Miami Media and Film Market.
and Cinevision.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just center on Miami Media and Film Market really quick. Just had an incredible webinar with Spain.
Yeah, we just wrapped that up. It was fantastic. Muy caliente, as they would say.
Do you know I said that, man? El Fuego. Last time I saw Patricia.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did. Yeah, yeah. Patricia Motilla, who's our partner over at Anderson, a great entertainment law firm over there, and she just gave us the down low on the latest tax incentives and breaks and co-production structures in Spain, and it's really good. I mean, if you're a smart producer, you know how to work internationally. There's a lot of great benefits, and interestingly enough, what the Spanish also need from a Miami producer, right? Which is access to not only Latin America, because we know Miami is the gateway to the America to Latin America, but also a gateway to North America. And
yeah.
seeing if some of these Spanish co-production can find an audience in the US, similar to some of the indie films that we're going to talk about later on.
And that's another way to look at it because I know, we've been talking to Spain for a while and, there has been some co productions, but really to look at this as this connectivity in both ways,
Yeah.
because, of course, they want to go into the U.S. market and kind of exploit that. We then can go over there. They shoot Game of Thrones. We talk about a lot of the shows that one of my favorite shows, that shoots over there is what's that show about the
You
bank
have Money
heist?
Heist.
Money Heist, and so this kind of cultural exchange, it's really exciting. And so I don't know if you guys are going to put the webinar up
We
and
are.
you did an
It's
incredible job, by the way.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah, how
Appreciate it.
people can rope into it, but we will, you know, find a way that people can find out more about this connectivity.
Yeah, we have we're gonna have it on our YouTube channel, the Miami Media and Film Market YouTube channel. If you didn't get to see the webinar live, and you can check out all the latest on the co-pros, so it'll be
And
there.
we'll put a link on the Screen Heat Miami website. Um,
Nice.
and then the Miami Media and Film Market is coming pretty soon.
That's right. Yeah, I also rattled off some dates. We're doing our official conference July 20 and 21. You have until June 26th to submit your scripts and projects if you want to be part of our big international global creator pipeline competition, which is going to actually have some awards. And we're going to be giving out 3 prizes this year for 3 of the top pitches and scripts. So very exciting stuff coming in July.
Boom. Miami Media and Film Market killing it.
Yeah.
Now, I have to say, Cinevision and the Black Film and Media Group, which is the sister organization to Cinevision, killed it over the weekend
Oh, yeah.
because we had Miles Mussenden, who's in some of my favorite shows. He's been in The Walking Dead, Doom Patrol, DC, Marvel, Cloak and Dagger, big arc. He's one of the only actors to have had 3 different roles in Marvel and a role in DC, if not the only actor. So that's pretty incredible and pretty dynamic. But also, big shows, Queen Sugar. One thing, he was in the industry before this happened, but this helped to spark his career, and he'll talk about it. He ended up being, because Denzel Washington, his body double passed away. They needed a body double. They needed someone who takes the place of the actor when they're not there. They're setting up lights and all these things. So it's body double and it's stunt double. So he became that for Denzel Washington. And a film that I love, which is called Flight, it was for that film, Robert Zemeckis, who I love. Robert Zemeckis is one of the biggest directors in Hollywood history. And so that helped to spark his career. And so you're going to hear some of this on the podcast. And then we just had Miles Mussenden for a Cinevision and Black Film and Media Group event, which was a Q&A session about his latest film, which is called Homage. Homage just debuted at the American Black Film Festival, and it was sold out. I went to the screening. The film is amazing, and it's Michael Mussenden's directorial debut. And so he produced it. He starred in it, and man, the original story is by him. So he really pulled triple duty on this film, and he killed it. It's already out. It's streaming on Apple. It's streaming on Amazon, so you can go and check it out there. We did this interview last week, and so this interview is going to have some references from things that were coming, which is the American Black Film Festival and the event that I just spoke with you about, which was incredible. It was him. It was the cast, some people from the crew. So it was one of the producers, and this was in conjunction with another organization, and that organization, which is an incredible organization, they're called the Main Collective. We did this at the Betsy Hotel at their B Bar, which is a space that I love, and it was just amazing. And so we'll put a little bit of footage of that on the website, and it was great to find out a little bit more about the film and get a behind-the-scenes look at it. And so you're going to get a behind-the-scenes listen to the film and this incredible career of Miles Mussenden. So here you go. Take it away, JL, Kevin, and Miles from last week. Okay, here we are. Yeah. I've been waiting for this one.
Man, I'm lucky I get to hang out with JL and Kevin, man. Yeah, what's going on, fellas? We in South,
man.
In the building, and we outside.
In the house. In the cut.
Well, it's not called Screen Heat for nothing, the podcast. So
yes. Well, actually, I came and look. I mean, it's actually raining out here right now. I mean, so the heat hasn't hit me yet.
Oh, okay.
It's coming. It's like a sauna later.
Yeah.
I got a few days
out here, so I'm sure.
Yeah. So where are you, and why are you here? Miami?
I'm in South Beach, Miami. I am here for ABFF. I have my film Homage that's screening here. So, it's exciting times. It's my feature film debut as a director. So I'm wearing all the hats, man, just directing, producing, acting, and marketing. So I'm out here marketing, man. I'm handing out cards. Like, they got us with these passes, but I said, let me put my thing back here, but let y'all know, Homage.
There you go.
But no, man, excited to be down here, man. I love Miami, so to be here to do a film, with my film is just great, and around all these great talented people too.
Yeah, amazing.
Guys, we just left Regina King, like, yeah, that Regina's right there, So, yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Like I said, she's trying to come up, man. She's trying to get a career.
That girl all the way up already, man.
I know, man. I mean, crazy. We're gonna build up to Homage, and how you got there, but let's go through a couple of layers first.
Yes, sir.
Let's get past the flirtations into the actual date, and then we'll consummate it with Homage.
All right.
Yeah. So let's just kind of start about where you're from.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Well, well, it depends. I mean, I've come from a few different places, man. Took some curves and all that kind of stuff, man. But yeah, I'm actually, I was born in London, England, but I've been in New York. I came to New York since I was a kid, so kind of grew up there. And in the last almost 20 years now, I've been in Atlanta.
Oh.
Yeah, man. Went to Atlanta for the Olympics, and I was like, whoa. It was like the Twilight Zone. I was like, I never saw so many black folk,
Yeah.
living good. And I was under some misconception because where I came from, I was living in Long Island at the time. And where I came from, the house I was seeing when I came for the Olympics in Atlanta was like multi-million-dollar houses. I'm like, yo, how everybody got all these, everybody living we got all these black folks living in these million-dollar homes.
Yeah.
And I'm looking around and for folks jogging, and folks walking their dogs and stuff. And, I'm like, man, well, shit. So I don't know if I can curse. I'm sorry. But when I get an opportunity, I'm moving down here. So
Yeah.
maybe 2-3 years later, I made the move, man. But I realized that those homes were like 300,000.
That's right. I mean,
There you
anything
go.
compared to New York real estate, man.
Yeah,
Miami's
yeah,
getting there
yeah,
too, but yeah, that's
yeah,
right. That's right. You can get a nice little
That's what they say about real estate. It's location, 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 right?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, chunk of land. I have a place out there too. Um,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
outside in Fairburn. It's near.
I know Fairburn. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, near Trilla
Oh man, so you
Studios.
you like a rapper, man? Yeah, I got a place in Atlanta. I got a place in What if you have a
Not
place in New
really.
York and in Atlanta and L.A.? You got L.A. too? But you got South Beach. You got Miami,
Yeah.
bro. You good?
Yeah, we got a couple of, but no,
I
Yeah.
have Airbnb, so I'm everywhere.
yeah, no,
Okay. Yeah, we gotta
yeah,
talk about that business, man. Let me get up in there, JL.
yeah. So yeah, born in London. So are your people in London? Do you have people in London at all?
Yeah, I have people in London, but my family is from South America and Guyana. So it's kind
Yeah.
of a West Indian country out there. But so I have people in London, I have people in Guyana. So I mean, back in the days, it would be like you come from the islands or the Caribbean, and then you would go to England, and then you go to America. So I'm
Yeah.
Mm.
kind of one of those. What you call that thing? When with the travel when they had the people coming from to London. Um, you remember Windrush? My
Uh,
Okay.
brother and
okay.
all of them was in the Windrush, and they went down there to help in England, and yeah, man, and then
Yeah, that's
here
right.
we
Yeah,
are.
from the
Mhm.
Caribbean.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. And Guyana,
Yeah.
we'll kind of talk about Guyana. Have you been out there? Have you been to
Oh
Guyana?
yeah. I've been man, my dad dragged me out there a few years ago, man, and so I got to see. I was there as a kid. I visited, but I didn't remember any of that stuff. So I
Yeah.
went back out there, got to meet up with some family.
Yeah.
Um, got to meet some cool people out there. They had reporters and stuff like that. I don't know how they know, but when you go down there, somehow the word gets
They're gonna
around.
know, man. Come
Yeah,
on.
and yeah, but the thing
Success
that was weird
story.
because they were calling like, "How did you get my phone number?" It was very strange, So but it was cool though, connecting with the folks over there and able to do some interviews and stuff. So yeah, man, it was cool. And they coming up,
Yeah. Yeah, they
man,
are, aren't
they
they?
discovered that oil, and they're like,
They
man,
found that oil. That's right.
yeah, I'm ready to move back.
Yeah, you might. Y'all got some
I'm ready
land.
to,
You want to drill in
yeah,
the backyard?
yeah. My family got some land out there too, but
Yeah.
it's kind
That
of
turned
like
around fast. That turned
real fast. Yes, sir.
yeah, oil rich, oil rich. But there's a lot of richness in the career you've created, and
Mhm.
so we're gonna go back to London and your come up, and then to New York. How did you come up in New York? What is that path that then led you to being in front of the screen? I know you had a little stint with music, or a big stint, because that's your
Yeah.
shop our ranks
Yeah,
in
yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. Man, you know what, man? I came to when I came to America, we moved to Vanderveer Projects. So I don't know if y'all heard about that. It was probably nice
Yeah,
now. But the Veer, had its so I mean, we moved, we jumped into the belly of the beast. It was rough out there, man. But as a kid, I don't know if I fully realized it until later. But yeah, man, I was acting from when I was a kid, actually, in grade school. But the neighborhood I come from, if you want to be an actor, that was kind of like corny, like an actor. It's kind of like, yeah. Um, so because of that, I don't know, I guess peer pressure or whatever, I kind of moved away from it. And music though was cool,
yeah,
so I don't know, I guess music is somewhat, creative, still in that creative space. So it's kind of adjacent to, acting, man. So I did I moved over to music, and then I met a girl, when I was young, and she was in the music business. She used to, and one thing led to another, and she became my girl, became my artist, and then became my wife. So
Oh,
Oh, wow.
yeah. So
She
we had
kept getting promoted then.
kept getting promoted, man. Yeah, she kept getting promoted, and she still manages to keep hanging around, man.
Mm.
So now we got 30 years in, but I mean,
Wow.
but when you get that acting bug early, man, as a kid, it's like it kind of just hangs around, man. So no matter what I did, I kept finding myself getting drawn back into it.
yeah. Did you work with
So
Shabba Ranks? Did you?
yeah. I went with Shabba Ranks because I had a record company. Back in the days, I don't know if your audience knows about records. So before the DVD, before CDs, and what was the MP?
Vinyl is the fastest growing sector in the industry. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar, like
Oh, I did hear the
yeah,
vinyl was
vinyl
making
is
a
the
comeback,
biggest.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
All
the
right,
biggest
well,
growth
man, check
industry.
out Two Friends Records, buy some records. I got Dennis Brown, I got Shabba Ranks, I got, Gregory Isaacs, the whole thing.
Wow.
Oh
Yeah, man.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man. So yeah, man, music became my thing, so I spent a few years going and working in Jamaica and I used to do hip hop and reggae and all that kind of stuff, but mostly dancehall reggae music. And it was cool, man. But I always found myself, no matter what would happen, I would kind of get drawn back into doing acting stuff, just little things here and there and there. So, I mean, I'm actually a drama school dropout, though. I dropped out of Academy of Dramatic Arts in New
Mm.
York, because it wasn't cool enough. Oh,
mm,
it wasn't
yeah.
cool enough.
Well, you made it cool. You made
Yeah,
it cool.
yeah,
You made
hey,
a you
man,
made
hey,
a
man.
career out of it. So I know that you were a stand-in and stunt double for Denzel Washington.
Yes,
So was
sir.
that your way into the industry?
Man, yes and no. Yes, because I mean it saved me, let me stay in the industry. What happened was I moved away from music and because I always seemed to be on the verge. So even though I might have been, having good fortune with working with some big artists like Shab and these guys and riding around in limousines and all that kind of stuff, I wasn't really making money though. You know what I'm saying? So it just always felt like I was on the verge of something big happening, like when they wanted to when reggae music was crossing over. And I remember like when the big American companies wanted to sign artists, they wanted to sign Shabba, they called me, So that was a MCA. He ended up going with Sony, and I was dealing with some stuff at the time, so I really couldn't be part of that. So when I was in Atlanta, when I moved to Atlanta, I moved away from the music stuff. I was doing real estate development, and so I had properties around the country, and we had the freaking Great Recession or whatever they want to call it, where properties was just losing half their value, and I had builders that I used to work with for a long time that couldn't close on properties, so now I'm carrying properties, all over the place, and I thought I could wait it out, and that was a severe, fatal error mistake. I
Mm.
couldn't because I spent all my cash trying to hold on the properties, and I actually went bankrupt.
Oh.
So at the time, like, man, if I have to start over, then I'd rather do what I love to do. And
Mm.
I used to do plays and stuff like that in my spare time. I would just because I liked it. Because like I said, I would always get drawn back to it. So I said, well, let me see if I can. I couldn't do plays because I need to make good money because my wife, she has expensive taste and all that kind of stuff. And so I had to find a way to make some kind of money. I said, okay, well, maybe the film and television industry. So how could I transition over to do that? I still needed some money to come in because I was like bankrupt for real, for real. So what ended up happening was I said, okay, well, let me jump in and learn, get an agent. I started doing this stand-in work. It wasn't paying hardly anything. It was like $150 a day at the time, but I feel like it was like on the job training. You know what I mean? I just did it to learn film. I knew how to act because I used to do it in theater, but I didn't know film and television. Jumped in there, started doing stand-in work at Tyler Perry Studios, actually. And to learn the ropes, learn. And then the opportunity came because when I was doing stand-in work, I would do it like all out because my purpose was to understand what the actors are doing, understand. So I would learn all the lines. It was just like being the actor. And the stand-in, when an actor is doing like their makeup and hair and this and that, the stand-in is on the set playing out the scene so that the director of photography, the director can kind of see how it's going to run and how it's going to play and how it's going to look. So I would do it as if I was the one with the role. And I had a little team, and everybody kind of joined in. And so we were full out going out and doing these things. Anyway, the word got out. So when Denzel, his stand-in died, unfortunately. Yes. And so Denzel needed a stand-in. But that time, though, I was already kind of weaning off of the whole stand-in thing and started working as an actor, small independent projects and stuff like that at the time. But when that thing came around, they called me to do this thing for Denzel. They say, hey, he needs an actor that can do standing work, that'll do standing work, blah, blah, blah. So, well, man, that's worth considering. And then it was with Robert Zemeckis. He's the director of Forrest Gump and Contact and all these things. And it was going to have Don Cheadle in it and John Goodman. I was like, whoa. And they said, yeah, because the actor's going to be doing scenes with the other actors when Denzel his face is on the camera. Like, so I get to work with Robert Zemeckis. I get to interact and do scenes with John Goodman and all these guys. I got to find a way to do it. So, from that, I went down there, I met with them, we kind of hit it off good. Denzel said, he was making these jokes talking about I'm from Brooklyn. He said, yeah, you got guns, because I had a little bit of most of the time. I said, well, man, if you Denzel Washington, you don't need no guns. We hit it off good, man, and things went well. And I was fortunate, man, that they wanted me to come do it. I was on a project at the time, indie film. So we were shooting Thursday through Sunday on this independent film, and I was one of the leads. So I was like, yo, because to work with Denzel and them, it was Monday through Friday. So I said, well, let me see what I can work out. So I called up these guys, man, this film called Newborn County, like, yo, listen, I got an opportunity to work with Denzel. And not his stunt double at the time, it was just his stand-in. To work with Denzel. I told them the whole story with Robert Zemeckis and the whole thing, and they were listening. Yeah, that's awesome, man. But so I was asking them, can I shoot my scenes on Saturday and Sunday so I can? And they was like, no.
Just that
like,
quick.
no, you're under contract, buddy. So they were like, nah, that ain't gonna happen. We need you. So I was like, oh man. So I was under contract. I had to honor my contract. So I had to call back and say, hey guys, I can't do the Denzel thing. Do you know, man, that they like me for whatever reason? I don't know. They like me so much they found a way to work around it. I said I only have a little bit more time on this project. They changed dates and all that kind of stuff to be able to get me to come work.
Wow!
No, it was freaking incredible. And at the time, like I said, I was still bankrupt. You know what I'm saying? I was still bankrupt. Now, the indie film that was only paying around the same amount, $200 a day or something like that. So anyway, so they allowed me to do it. So I was doing both, and working. So I was working every day, and eventually, even after the film, I finished the film because I was bankrupt and with the Denzel thing, I'm thankful for it. I was making around that same amount, $150 a day, if I remember correctly. And so even when I finished the film, all of a sudden, because I was working, opportunities start coming. So opportunities were coming for me to do commercials and this and that. So, man, I was like, okay, let me grab the 2,500 here. Let me grab this. You know what I'm saying? So I was jumping on those jobs. And but they wanted me to be there all the time to do the Denzel thing. So it started to become a little bit of an issue. So they wanted to put me under contract.
Oh.
They wanted to put me in the contract, but they don't put stand-ins on the contract as far as I know, but they do put stunt doubles on the contract.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I did stunts one time for a film I was in, Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn, a long time ago. All I did was jump in the river out in Bulgaria, but I didn't really have any stunt experience. Denzel had a stunt double that he had for years, but you had a Academy Award-winning director ask an Academy Award-winning actor, Denzel Washington, hey, can Miles be your stunt double for this movie? And he said yes.
Oh.
And he said yes, bro. So I went from making $150 a day to making 10 grand a week.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you dug out of that bankruptcy then.
That man. Let me tell
We
you
were speaking about promotions earlier. That's a hell of a promotion, right there.
That's a hell of a promotion, man. And that's just what we call the fog. The fog, favor of God.
this is crazy. I mean, I started in front of the camera, so this is me right here.
That's you?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Okay,
kind
you
of
look like a
far
young
back.
Ali from here when I see you, bro.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's kind of far back. But
Okay.
you know, I made a lot of money doing that, but also I did stand in. So I did stand in for Lenny Kravitz, Pharrell, like,
Oh, so
you
you
know,
know
a
what's up.
bunch of
Yeah.
people. Yeah, I know the game, man. I know the
Okay,
game.
okay.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with everything you're saying, but this is like amazing because
I
then
mean,
you went from $150 a day to 10 grand a week. Had you established a good rapport with Denzel by that point?
yeah, people have what I think is a misconception of Denzel. They think I don't know. People have different opinions, right?
Hardcore.
When he's working,
Yeah.
but Denzel stays in character or close to the character when he's doing his work. So, and I'm trying to move this thing away from the rain because it keeps getting wet in the computer.
Oh,
Oh,
So Denzel, and we were working on this film called Flight. And in this film,
love that movie. Sorry.
okay, yeah. So his character was a drunk and a bit of an asshole.
Yeah.
So when Denzel was doing his when he was staying close to character, he's a little bit, abrasive.
method.
But other than that, when his character's up or when we're not shooting, he's light. I mean, he's cool, and so we had a great relationship. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I had a really great rapport with him. And man, it was again for me, he was a blessing. And also like I saw like we had some scenes with like it was like hundreds of people as extras and all that kind of stuff. We had a big courtroom scene, but people would look at Denzel like he was some kind of god. It's really weird and it's really spooky. Matter of fact, I saw him at I saw Denzel before I knew him, before the standing working on stuff. I was at a fight. It was a Tyson fight. I think he was fighting Riddick Bowe, that British guy. I don't know. It was in Tennessee.
Yeah.
There was a big boxing match in Tennessee. And so I saw Denzel walk in, and dude, people were acting like he was like Jesus just came in.
Yeah.
It was really bizarre, man. So I just that's got to be some kind of mind trick. You know what I'm saying? So if
Yeah.
you're trying to be a character and people like are acting like you some kind of it's so I feel like he has to protect the character.
Yeah.
So I understand it fully, and I mean he does. That's how he brings us these great characters.
Yeah.
Because he protects it. So I mean, to me, that's the trade off.
Yeah. So, you moved through Flight. Did you continue as his stand-in stunt double?
So
You were already doing other things?
because I was already an actor at this point.
Yeah. You were already doing things before
now I
that.
became an actor. And then with the Flight, it just gave me so much confidence now because I'm doing it, and I was like completely in sync with Denzel. It was really kind of weird. We were like in lockstep. So, and to the point where like Robert Zemeckis would be me, Robert Zemeckis, and first AD, and we would be going scouting locations. Like, okay, hey Miles, what would Denzel do here? What we would put out these scenes, and he would kind of get an idea what's going to happen with the scene. So now I'm literally working, with Academy Award winning director. We're like going out and driving to this place and that place. But so what happened was though, because even when we wrapped, they flew me out to LA, introduced me to the casting director and all this kind of stuff. We shot this in Atlanta. But I just started getting work after that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just started getting work as an actor. So, I was like, I had a mentor, Greg Allen Williams. He's like, man, you got to decide, man, you a stand-in or you an actor? So, I mean, I love Denzel. In fact, he's doing a film. I don't know if it's announced yet. He's doing a film in Africa. So I know I did audition for a couple of the roles actually, but I'm like, man, I wouldn't mind even if I had to be a stand-in, maybe going to Africa.
I mean, I'm going to say it. Maybe you can't say it, but from what I understand, he's going to be in the next Black Panther. So
really,
that from what I understand, I don't know. If that's
I wouldn't be surprised, man.
Yeah, that's from what I understand. I can't say, it's not
you
confirmed.
Definitely learn a lot.
Officially, Screen Heat Miami confirmed, but
okay,
yeah, but
yeah.
So then now you're doing other roles. Like you're on a roll. You're out of bankruptcy, So right? Is that right? You're out of bankruptcy.
I'm climbing out.
Climbing out.
Things
Okay.
I told you, man. You forgot, Kevin. I mean, remember? So, but I'm close because I do. You know what, man? It was crazy because at the time, and it's actually normal now, but at that time, I had gotten my monthly expenses down to like $9,000 a month, and like I felt like I couldn't get it any lower. But that's still a lot of money at the
Yeah.
time anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's still a lot of money, and until you don't have any money. So now
Yeah.
you have no choice but to get it down. But so it took some time to climb out, and like even with flight, even though I was getting that money every week, the most of the money came like after overtime, because I got
Right.
residual, all that kind of stuff. And again, that's what kept me in the game,
Mm.
So because the gigs I was getting, I started working as an actor, but I was getting smaller parts. You know what I'm saying? They were
Right.
like, okay, a couple of days here, a couple of
Yeah.
days there, and that type of thing. But that held me down because, there was a stigma also attached to doing standing work. So if
Yeah.
you were standing, it was hard to get acting jobs because
Yeah.
they would see you as a stand-in and kind of
Yeah.
like stay in your place kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I end up getting agents. I had like 8 agents, man. I had agents all around the country, man. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Yeah.
because I had to break through. And it's
Yeah.
something like because I used to, I had some success in business before. When you're used to, you feel like you can always do it. If
Yeah.
you made money at one point, you feel like you can
Right.
always make. So it's like you just got to grind it out, figure it out, hustle it. So I went and got agents everywhere. Okay, y'all see me as a stand-in. Well, guess what? These people don't. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So in Virginia they don't, in New York they don't. So I went in all those other markets and end up the thing that started giving me a hard time, being a stand-in actually helped me because being a stand-in for Denzel helped me because it made me a better actor and it put some money in my pocket to get me out of bankruptcy. And it also because the casting directors, the local ones, some of them, it was actually the 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 ones that kind of look like us. I don't know. They kind of
Yeah.
kept me in a box for some reason. I don't know
Yeah.
why. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow. Yeah.
So, but when I started going into these other markets, I started getting work, and I started getting work, more and more and more and more work. And to the point where it was a conflict because I would get booked, double booked, and stuff like that. Yeah, and it was just on and popping. But the folks in my own hometown, there was some cast directors of this that was feeling me, so I give me work in Atlanta now too. So I
Yeah.
was like working all over the place except Black Hollywood. Black Hollywood, I don't know, they wasn't really giving me love, but that's all
Yeah.
right because that again, I was out there, and that's how I ended up more mainstream and doing Marvel and all other things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
I want to get into that. What would you say is the role that you're like, okay, I got this role. Boom, I'm good. I'm moving, up to this next level.
yes, okay. Well, there's one particular one I would say it is, but there was a a preemptive one. My very first role was on this TV role was on this show called Army Wives.
Yeah, I know the
I did
show.
a
It's a
couple
great show.
episodes of that, and they were searching for a long time to find somebody to play this role, and somehow it just hit right. Struck a chord with me. And at the time, Greg Allen, who was mentoring me, we just did this audition. Went great, and doing that that episode opened a bunch of doors. That's why I'm, even to this day I'm still playing a lot of like authority figures, in law enforcement, that type of thing, because my very first role was that, and that was on Army Wives.
Yeah.
So that was one thing. But the thing that I thought, like, okay, boom, I'm here for now. I'm not going nowhere. I'm good. Was Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
When you get in Marvel, I mean, you're thinking, okay, we good now. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I was in Marvel a few times, but this time I was a regular. When you become a series regular on any show, matter of fact, um, but not nonetheless Marvel. And that was a whole experience in and of itself, man. Because I remember I got a call after I got the show. I was like working a lot too at the time. I was working on like just again here and there, a couple episodes here, a day or two on this show, and I was in New York auditioning for a Blacklist, and
Another show I love, by the way.
okay,
But
yeah,
keep going.
yeah. So I mean, this is before I got on the show. This is like early days of Blacklist, and I was leaving, going to go jump on a train, meet another actor, and he was telling me about this dude Joe Pakaski. Hey, you got to meet this guy. You got to work with this guy. He's a producer and blah blah blah. We had this whole talk about this guy. I don't know why he felt like I need to meet him, but that's what he was telling me. So anyway, I took the train, got on the plane because I used to be in New York and Atlanta at the time, just going
Yeah.
back and forth. And I realized that my agent was trying to get in touch with me, and different people getting in touch with me. And when I realized it, I didn't even know I auditioned for Marvel because they keep everything a secret.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
right, yeah.
everything is a secret. I didn't even know. And it's like, hey, you got to go to LA for a screen test and da da da. When? Oh, was it Friday? I don't know. I think it was like 2 days after. I said, well, no, I'm working on I, Tonya. You know what I'm saying? I was working on a movie in Atlanta. So I was heading back to Atlanta. I got to work on a movie.
Great movie too, I, Tonya.
Yeah, I
That
just did a little
Academy Award winning
cameo
movie.
in
Yeah.
it. And
Yeah.
anyway, man, but it all worked out, and I ended up getting that role in on Marvel, and I never forget. I couldn't tell anybody. It was all the secrets, so it was all followed up, and I'm like, man, the only person I could talk to is my wife, and my agent. So we'd talk about it, and
You can only tell them the story so many times.
yeah,
So,
no, we find a
yeah.
different angle. We find a different way to tell the story. but so we had I got a call from Jeff Loeb. At the time, he was number 2 at Marvel. So he called me and just to check in and like, hey man, how you doing? I'm in New Orleans now because we get ready to shoot. And like, hey man, yeah man, I'm good. I got to tell you, man, I'm the world is spinning right now. Just
Yeah.
in this world of Marvel and all that stuff. And he was like, man, he said, Miles, I just got to tell you, man, this is an opportunity to do your best work. And Marvel is a family. And he gave me the whole spiel, man. And he said, I'm gonna tell you 3 things that will change your life. 3 words that'll change your life. Welcome to Marvel.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So like it was like, yo. So everything kind of quieted down.
Yeah.
The whole world got quiet for me, and all the spinning and talking to my wife and talking to my agent, all that kind of went away. And I just, I don't know. It was like almost like a spiritual experience. Actually, it's just really weird. And I just focused in, man, on the role and what I had to do. And yeah, man. But that once I got that role on Marvel, even though it was short lived because it only went 2 seasons, I blame the marketing. Maybe that's why I'm out handing out flyers right now for my movie. But it went 2 seasons, but becoming a series regular on a Marvel series and, got me to be able to go do red carpets all in LA and all the things, all the interviews and all the things. So that kind of changed my status in the industry.
Yeah.
So from that point on, even though that show ended, I could no longer, I wasn't doing just a day here and a couple, what I'm saying, a scene here. It was more like, okay, 4 episodes here, 6 episodes there, and that type of thing. So it kind of changed things career-wise. So that's a long answer to answer your question, but
no. That's great because it takes us through that journey. Cloak and Dagger, I loved it. It had a lot of critical praise. Very nuanced, a lot of layers.
Oh yeah,
and,
man.
And your character was amazing.
Thank you.
Like
Thank you.
you added so much depth.
Yeah, man.
And
I saw.
strength.
Yes. What they say in Deadline or Variety, they said the gravitas or something added, because it's a comic book world, but they said that like me, and they were talking about me and Gloria Rubin, phenomenal actress, also Andrea. You had some heavy hitters in there. You had some really good actors.
Oh yeah, you did.
Oh
yeah.
man. So,
and
but
man.
So,
it launched the career the young actor that played Cloak.
Oh, okay. Aubrey. Yeah.
Aubrey.
Yeah, he did the movie with Denzel recently. Like, last year.
Yeah, there you go,
Yeah,
full circle.
Yes.
But So just so powerful. That character was so powerful. So I just want to touch on some other ones because you've done DC and you've done Marvel. Luke Cage. I have a buddy, Jaden Kane, who was in that show. Spider-Man: Homecoming, and you did DC Doom Patrol, which is another show I loved.
Oh man, yes.
Yeah, your character was amazing in Doom Patrol.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah,
I was fortunate, man. So I'm one of a very, very small group of actors who've done multiple Marvel characters. I think only 2 actors, and the rest of them, I think it's a total of 5 people that did 3 or more, three Marvel projects. But I think they're all directors. I think one other actor. So me and one other actor. Yeah, and the universes. Yeah, my wife is always here. making sure I did things right.
Yeah, but
So yeah, I mean, so I was fortunate. I mean, there were small roles. I did a small role in Luke Cage. I did a small role in Spider-Man. Well, it became small because we never really got to the meat of the scene. I don't even think I actually spoke. That was just my first introducing me.
yeah.
And the thing was Zendaya, and that became a thing for some reason. I don't know what people really liked about that. The whole all I did was like this, and it became a whole internet thing. It was just really weird. But yeah, man, and then Cloak and Dagger. So and then to add on top of that, doing the two universes, DC and Marvel.
That's what I was gonna say. That's a
so now I'm probably the only actor that did 3 Marvel projects and worked in DC.
3. That's right.
So yeah, which was wonderful, man. I loved working on Doom Patrol. Yeah, anytime you could be a villain, so playing that super villain thing, bro. That's probably my favorite role to play.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, man, because well, first of all, I didn't know what the hell it was, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I when I got the size and I had to audition for it, and I was reading it. I didn't know what the hell they were talking about because they didn't give any context, and it was like all this dialogue. And I'm like, you know what, man? So let me just create a character and do it, and come what may, So I did that, sent it in. When I ended up getting the role, and I didn't know it was DC, just like Marvel, I found out it was DC. And then when they offered me the role and I started seeing more about it, I still didn't know what it was. I wasn't familiar with Doom Patrol at the time.
Yeah.
It was very
Doom Patrol's a smaller, it's like a smaller
Yes, excuse me. Yeah, so but the scenes and stuff were like this kind of had like an esoteric feel to it. And the character had a whole lot of dialogue.
Yeah.
I had no idea what the hell this guy was talking about. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know. This might not be for me, man, because I don't get it.
You killed it, man.
Yeah, the more I worked on it, the more I got it, and I understood, and it dealt with some serious issues, man. Like DC is getting it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a smaller comic, but but the show itself, I think it went for like 4 or 5 seasons. It went a long. It had a long haul.
Yeah, man, it was wonderful, man. I was living in the comic book world. It literally was surreal because they created the world, so it's like you were literally living inside of a comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have to have with back massages, physical therapy because wearing them daggone wings was heavy as heavy AF, man.
So you had a bike on thing?
Yeah, heavy ass bike on my back. For weeks.
So we're going to jump into some other roles.
Okay.
And then feel free to. I'm just going to mention and then give me some commentary on some of these. But and these are also some of my loves, and I know JL also has some. Tulsa King.
Ooh.
You just took mine.
Okay.
I love Tulsa King.
Throw something at Tulsa King, JL.
Tell us more about that role. It's a great, obviously part of yet another universe, right? The Taylor Sheridan world.
Yeah,
that you were a part of. So tell us a little bit about working on that show and working with another icon of cinema like Denzel, Sylvester Stallone, and that.
Yeah, bro. You know what, man? Well, first of all, shout out to Taylor Sheridan, because he has multiple shows, and he would. I auditioned for all of them. I would audition over and over again for all the different shows, So when Tulsa King, boom, you know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Stallone, come on, man. So with Stallone, I've been watching Sly since I was a kid. That's one of the first. Matter of fact, we had a little kid gang. We call ourselves the Lords of 39th. They had the Lords of Flatbush. I don't know if y'all remember. Stallone was in that back. Back. That might be before Kevin's time. I don't know, but so I've been a Stallone fan for a very long time. So it was just a blessing to be able to get in there and work with him, man. So yeah, we went out to Oklahoma. Interesting place, with a lot of wind and stuff like that. But man, we went out there. Yeah, I had a great time. I got to work with the icon himself, and he was very down to earth, great to work with. I think he was dealing with some family stuff during the first season. But you wouldn't tell, you know what I'm saying? He was constant professional, offer advice, and stuff like that, man. So yeah, it was just great, man. It was a great opportunity, and people loved the show. So it's always great when you're working on a show that people, recognize and love. So that was that Tulsa King, like my neighbors and everybody, oh man, you're a Tulsa King. Like everybody knew about the show. It's like the it show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah. So two Miami shows. Actually, one was not even half, 2/3 Miami. So Ballers, which 2/3 of it shot in Miami.
Yes.
So you had something on that.
Well, I can tell you about that. What I can tell you is, at that time, that's when I was still doing like just a scene or two here and there. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
was still in the building phase career wise, and man, I loved coming to Miami to work. We worked on Miami Beach, like where I'm at now. So there's another full circle moment. And dude, my trailer was literally on the beach. Like I walk out of my trailer into the sand. You know what I'm saying? Like on the beach. It was they put the trailers on the beach, bro.
Yeah.
So come on, man. How could life get any better? I mean, The Rock, DJ and them, they was living
Yeah.
their best life, man, because that was every day for them. So I got on there. I loved it. I got to work with The Rock. And I got a little funny story about working with him. So we were doing our thing, man. I don't know if I could tell the story. Well, okay. Well, I make it in a nutshell. So we do our scene, and they shot DJ side first, So he did his thing, and I just had one scene in that show, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Maybe. But anyway, we shot his side first, and we were turning around. Like now, coming from working with Denzel, when they would turn around the camera after Denzel does his side, they turn it around. It would be me. It'd be the stand-in. You know what I'm saying? So I know The Rock's stand-in is his cousin. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when he after we shot his scene, we took a break, and I was like, yeah, man, all right, man, hey, good working with you, talking, dapped it up, and he said, well, no, what are you talking about, man? We gotta do your scene. I said, oh, I thought your cousin was gonna do it, man. So he said, no, man, no, I'm gonna be here. He said he would never do that. And he went on to give me a story, man, about when they was doing Get Shorty. And I won't mention their names because it's big actors, but there was one actor, he did that where when it was hit after they shot his scene, he bounced. And the other actor was pretty big too. And he was pissed off about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because it changes the energy a little bit of the scene when that happens.
Yeah.
When I worked with Denzel, we were in sync. I don't think it changed the energy because I just was, I don't know, I was him. So, but anyway, that was funny, man. For The Rock to just tell that story, really down to earth, great guy to work with, man. So that was a pleasure. It was another highlight at the time, career wise, to be able to work with him.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. Like I was in Haiti with Josh Brolin and Diane Lane and Maria Bello and these people.
Yeah,
and Josh Brolin was telling all these stories, like crazy stories, man.
Oh,
and
man.
I think a lot of people don't realize, these people, they're people, and so, just like we're talking right now, you've done all these big things, but, it always boils down to people are people.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure. The Rock is from our alma mater, the U.
That's right.
University
Sly
of Miami.
too,
Okay.
by the way.
Hold on. What's the U?
That's the University of Miami.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. They have a pretty good football team again.
He played football. Yeah, he played football there.
I didn't know that, man. Okay,
championship team and everying. Yeah. He was big.
Okay.
I have to mention Bloodline because again, it's Key West, but
your backyard, man. Yeah. I was forgot about that, bro. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. But I do want to bring it around to Homecoming. So, what was the build towards becoming a filmmaker yourself? Man, it's hard enough. I'm a filmmaker too.
Yes.
It's hard enough writing a film. It's hard enough directing. Producing is hard, but producing, writing, directing, starring in.
Yeah.
Tell me about how this all came about, and a little bit of background about the film.
Okay, yeah, man, for sure, man. It's I was always I had ideas. I don't consider myself a writer, but I always had all these ideas of films that I wanted to do. Not necessarily direct, not necessarily, but just kind of I had some ambitions of being a filmmaker. Small. So I would always create little things and create little stories, and I would work with writers. what happened was I ended up being really busy as an actor, and I'll be working a lot. You know, I would what you call a working actor, and I kind of work more than a lot of people. You know, but COVID came, and all of a sudden I found myself with time. You know, so like, oh, okay, so what am I gonna do with myself now? You know, and so all these projects I had, well, hey, man, there's an opportunity to work on some projects, and at the same time, I started getting just, I don't know, I don't know, man. I guess no matter with all my flaws, man, God be still looking out for me because I got a call from a brother, Alvin Williams. He got a studio in Atlanta called Cinema South, and he wanted me to come and like speak to. I don't know. He was doing they were doing some kind of program. They wanted me to speak to their students, something like that. And I was like, whoa, hold on, wait. You say you have a film studio, right? Right. So I was, oh, okay. And then just the wheels start turning. Again, this was like around the COVID time and all that kind of stuff. I was like, hey man, I actually got some things, ideas for films and this and that. We started talking. One thing led to another, and one of the films I was developing, we were going to go partner and do this film, do this film. That didn't work out because then right after COVID was the strikes. So I got funded to do this other film, and it didn't work out, and so that kind of fell apart. But now I had the bug, and with the strikes and all that kind of stuff, I had more time. You know what I'm saying? So I still got time. So I developed. I had a friend, this rapper, and he used to always for years he'd been bugging me about doing a film about where we grew up at in Brooklyn, a little bit rough and all that kind of stuff. And he wanted me to do a film on that, and I wasn't really trying to do that. I said, man, them stories been told, and then over time, 50 started doing Power and all these other stuff, and they were like wildly successful. So it's like, see, man, I've been told you, man. Da, da, da. He's like, and he ended up getting the rapper ended up getting sick. I went to visit him in the hospital, and I just felt like, man, he wanted me to do something, about the community, for the community, for us, by us, and now he might not even make it. But when he recovered, I saw he was gonna make it. I said, you know what? I'm gonna shift my focus. This is the film I'm gonna do. So I created a film because of him and wanting to do something for us. Because I usually really work in the mainstream, Marvel and Bloodline and all this kind of stuff. And I never really was fully embraced by Black Hollywood.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna, there's a saying: go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. You know what I'm saying? So
that's a great one. I'm gonna remember that one. I like that.
Yeah, man. So they would celebrate me in the mainstream. Okay, let's go. Let's rock it out. I'm gonna do Tulsa King. I'm gonna do Marvel. I'm gonna do DC. I'm gonna do it all. I'm gonna do all that. But so this made me feel like, okay, I'm gonna do this for us, for the hood. And so that's how I kind of start fully engaging and going straight forward for homage. And so I just created it. So I didn't write it. I wrote the story. And I hired a writer, Diane Diaz, great writer. She was doing a lot of those African films, but she's a really good writer, and she's from Jamaica, so she kind of understood because this film has has some Caribbean roots to it. So she understood some things that I needed somebody that could understand, and I brought her in, and man, we spent a year and a half or so chopping up, talking every day. My wife might have thought I was cheating. I'll be talking to Diane day and night. It'll be early in the morning. I'll be in Hawaii. I'll be walking the beach, just having a conversation with Diane about the characters and about the story, man. And yeah, we got it done. And the rapper guy that was pushing me to do it, he ended up being busy doing other stuff with his matter of fact, he was on tour with 50. So I ended up having to recast, still told a story from our background. It's just some of the characters, some of the little things that come out, nuances, but I end up finding a guy, Major Hype, who understands that world too, because he's from Brooklyn too. He's from the same area too. So it's a certain language, because like I'm talking to you like this now, but it's I can just throw in a little bit of Caribbean up in there, and that's kind of how we did our thing in Brooklyn. So I needed somebody that could understand that. And Major Hype did, man. So Major Hype jumped in there last minute, and like that he rocked it, man. He was like, it ended up being the dude for the role. You know, you watch the film, you're gonna say, "Oh, he the star."
Right.
You know, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so yeah, but that, and then I was as far as because you asked me about directing, writing, producing, and starring. So you know, because it originally was gonna be me and the rapper dude, and it was gonna it's kind of based on, you know, because I kind of transitioned from being in the streets, all that kind of stuff, to being a clean cut kind of guy. So I kind of use that as a basis, you know, because I'm a little bit square. I guess some people consider me a square, right? You know,
More in the square than you,
yeah, I guess
you full
I'm a
square.
whole body man. I don't go out too much. I've been married for 30 something years, you know. Um, and you know, I base it kind of around that, man. But I not on the panel. I was listening to this panel, and there's a friend of mine. She's a director, filmmaker, Gina Blythewood. She did this movie called she did a bunch of movies, obviously, but one of my favorite movies, Love and Basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff. You know, she just did the Queen. What's that movie with the Queen? Woman Queen, Woman King, Woman King.
The Woman King, yeah.
Woman
Great
King, she's
movie.
done tons of stuff, man. Just a brilliant, you know, filmmaker. And you know, she was originally involved in Cloak and Dagger, so you know, I got to have a relationship with her from there. But anyway, she was saying to me, because I was talking about Love and Basketball, and she was like, I was like, how did you know your first film and you directed it? And the same thing you're asking me, I was asking her. And she was saying, well, she knew it. She just, you know what I'm saying? She knew the story. She knew, you know, so who better to tell it than her? And
Yeah.
she told me that if that's the case, that I need to direct it.
Mm.
Yeah, she said, direct it yourself.
Wow.
And it's like, wow, okay, I never thought of myself as a director, you know, but okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay.
Nothing like an actor's director, man.
Yeah. It turns out I got a pretty good knack for it, man, bro. So, you know, I never thought of it. Those, like, I spent 2 years doing standing work, but remember, I spent months and months and months walking around, riding around, sitting next to Robert Zemeckis, Academy
Right.
Yeah.
one of the best directors ever. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And not to mention Mary Lou Bella, just all these different directors that I've worked with. Because when I was a stand-in, and even Tyler Perry, because that's when I first started doing stand-in work, I worked with directors for years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
what
know,
helped me, man. When I was in front of the camera, I was always all around the set, talking to the electric, the grips, everyone. And so, yeah, once I
I
really
wasn't
got
even
into
thinking
it.
about it from that perspective, though, Kevin. Because to me, I was
No,
acting.
me either.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you pick up all these things. So like
Yeah.
so now like it's like, dude, like directing felt like second nature.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like second nature. And then like you said, like you know, an actor's director or something like that you said, but you know, I know how to communicate with actors,
Yeah,
you know.
that's right. An actor's
That's one of the
director.
things that a lot of directors have trouble with. And then also I work with some really great directors, but I also work with some directors that were like not that great. You know,
You can learn either way. That's right. Yeah.
Right.
But when I heard how much directors get paid, like what?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So what? That's how much I
Yep.
get paid per episode? I was
Yeah.
like, oh hell no. And you don't even know what you're doing?
Ah, you get paid for that? What? I could do that.
Oh hell, yo, hold on. This acting thing, I might have to rethink this whole damn thing. Nobody ain't telling me this. This is like a well good kept secret.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. So so tell us about the film, what it is, a little bit about your co-stars, and
Okay, yeah.
you know, the ABFF.
Okay, yeah, man. So homage is about a couple who tries to help an old partner in crime get back on his feet. But they quickly learn that he's trying to bring them down to their knees. So, you know, we got some guys that grew up in Brooklyn together, man, and came up. They got in trouble as kids. You know, I remember doing this interview and somebody I guess they knew a little bit about, you know, where we grew up and all that kind of stuff. And they said, well, how come the people, the young people of your generation, you know, got in so much trouble, and you know, and I said, man, you know, it's like what I coined the Tarzan principle. If you understand Tarzan, you should. If you raise a bunch of kids in a concrete jungle, you shouldn't be surprised when they act like an animal. You know what I'm saying? So, if you understand why Tarzan is the king of the jungle, you know what I'm saying? Because he was raised there. You know what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with us. So anyway, these guys came up and they were influenced by where they came out of, and they end up getting in trouble. And I don't want to give too much of the story away, but they get in trouble, and one gets out a lot earlier than the other. And when the other finally gets out, he kind of blames the other cat. He kind of blames my character for copping a plea, and because he felt like, well, if you didn't cop a plea, maybe I wouldn't have had to spend 27 years in jail or whatever it is, and
It's trouble.
So he has his own little agenda, that he feels like to make things right. Let's put it that way, man. So
I'm already feeling it. I'm feeling
man.
hot. I'm feeling hot.
Yeah, man. It gets a lot of stuff going on there, man. In that. So there's a little bit of a revenge thing going on and all that kind of stuff, man. And so Major Hype, who's actually a comedian.
Yeah, big deal comedian.
Yeah, big comedian in the Caribbean community, man. But again, he just understood that Brooklyn Caribbean. He understood the world. He came in, man, and played a hell of a villain, man. And
he hyped it. He hyped it up.
Yes, he killed it. And then I had Nadira Shakur, and Nadira's from Texas, good old hometown girl, man. But her character is married to my character Marcus, so they're good homebody, good clean, just living the corporate world, man, living the good life and doing their thing until things get a little ugly.
Go off the rails.
Yeah, things go off the rails. Man, it's a hell of a ride, man.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of people. We got Julie Mango, who is another Caribbean comedian. So she came in and she came and did her thing and rocked it out too. So we got Julie Mango, we got DeMarco, the singer. I love my life. You got a bunch of songs. So DeMarco came in there, rocked it out with a cameo, and then a surprise, dude. This kid, man, Ruben Shaw. Now I don't know if you guys familiar with Morgan Heritage. They're like a Caribbean, a really big Caribbean musical group, and he's like their nephew. So I got a bunch of these Caribbean folks in there too, American though. So it's like, we telling a American story, but it has these Caribbean roots to it that I wanted to seep through, you know what I'm saying? And it gives a different flavor. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is not like this film, like because one of the things I didn't want to do was kind of glorify violence and all that kind of stuff. I'm just not with that. I think we gotta change the narrative. We gotta change, so. But at the same time, I understand people like story. They like, certain things. So you got all those energies, but it's not being promoted. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, it is what it is. You have Casino. You have The Godfather. You have Scarface. It is what it is.
Yes.
American Hustle.
Yes.
So,
yes.
But if you tell a story
right,
that, kind of raises the bar, then it's a different thing.
Yes. And you talk about raising the bar. That's one of the things I was telling my man when I was originally going to do this film with. It was like, yo, this is not like some of them films you see where, this is going to be a high quality film. I've been around for a while, so I can't just do anything and just put anything out there. It got to be, the quality got to be so. There's no distinction between you seeing this and you seeing, any level film. You know what I'm saying? You're going to see, I don't know if you guys watch the trailer, but you're going to see high level, you know what I'm saying? This is, I mean, I'm used to working with, I don't know how to say this humbly, but I work with, Academy Award.
No, but you already said it. Yeah, I mean, you already said it.
Emmy Award winning directors. Yeah, I mean, like I literally on the phone with Emmy Award winning directors. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
talking like, hey, the show. So I mean, I couldn't come out there with some half cocked thing. You know what I'm saying? So I had to come right, man. I forgot your question, but
No. You already answered the question. So this is great.
Well, Vanessa was just reminded me. So two more people I got to make sure I mention. There's a lot of people I got to mention, but Mason Douglas. They played like the younger version of us, him and this guy named Noah J. Wood. Two young cats from Atlanta now. It's supposed to be Brooklyn cats. So it took some work, but man, they had the heart though. They had the heart and they put the work in, man. They gave us that Brooklyn flavor that we needed. I was a little nervous, but the dudes, they was in their bag, man. And Mason, he's used to playing certain role. He played Tupac in that Tupac biopic and all that kind of stuff. So
Tupac Biggie, yeah.
But yeah, man. So we just had the great cast, man, and they came in and rocked it out. My son-in-law, Jamal Morant, who is a social media content creator, you know.
Yeah.
So he came in there, rocked it, did his thing, you know, and so I was fortunate to have a good group of people around me and a DP. One of the things that made it all possible for me to do all those hats, producer, director, starring in, I had really good people around me. I had Al G, and Al been doing independent films for years, like, you know, and he does like more than anybody I know. And he introduced me to the DP that I had, Maverick. And Maverick just, dude, he's just able to move quick because the way my budget was working, I ain't have months to go shoot this film. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do a quality shoot in a short window. You know what I'm saying? So he just knew what he was doing. He was on point, and he found ways to get it done quickly. So man, that's these are my guys, man. This is my triangle. You know how they got, you got the Trinity.
Yeah.
They ain't holy, but you got so
When you're on set, they are.
yes. I'm the director. My director. So I'm director. You got the DP, cinematographer, and you got the first AD, which is Al G. Boom. You know what I'm saying? Like them. You know what I'm saying? And then, but I got multiple, because before that it was me and the writer and the producer Samantha. So me and Diane and Samantha. You know, and then on set sometimes it's me and the actor and the, you know what I'm saying, and the DP. So there's a bunch of trinities in this thing, man. But yeah. American Black Film Festival on Saturday, and I'm so grateful and thankful to get my first feature film. This is a prestigious film festival for us, and so it was a blessing to get my first film in there. So it's you got a lot of great people, a lot of great films here, and to be among that is just a beautiful thing in and of itself. So yeah, man, it's sold out. So I was pleasantly surprised
sold
about
out.
that. Yeah, because I was my intention was to come down here and do a bunch of interviews and make sure everybody comes out and bring awareness to the movie so they can come out and watch it. But before I got a chance to do that, it was already sold out. So like, okay, well, that's a blessing. So now it's get it now to the world. So we're gonna put it out on Apple TV and Amazon right after the festival.
Wow.
So yeah, right after the festival, go on Amazon, Apple, and then we'll see what happens next. I got a few people we're talking to stream on some other platform, but that's what's going to be available immediately. Pre-order it today.
This is an incredible interview. Thank you for taking the time out. I know that you're here with the ABFF and doing all those things. So I really appreciate you taking the time out, man.
My pleasure, Kevin. Thank you for having me. Yeah, and we enjoyed it, man. It's raining. We found a spot. That's why I'm sitting. I had to find like a right underneath there, so I'm not getting wet. But but we're doing the thing. We're getting it done.
Yeah.
I'm glad audio because I'm like leaning back and I've been moving this thing around.
Yeah, I have to give a shout out to the organizations that are sponsoring the event, the Main Collective and the Black Film and Media Group. We have to give a shout out to the Betsy Hotel that's hosting us.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
shout out to all y'all, man. We're giving the industry love, man, giving the artists love, man. And, thank you.
No doubt. Man, what a powerhouse.
Yeah, and so down to earth. I love these guys that make it so far. Obviously as he explained in the interview, he struggled a lot. He was doing well in real estate and then hit, the crisis, right? The mortgage, he had to reinvent himself. And it's funny because the one sure thing, right? Investing in real estate and development, all that you think is going to just support you forever ended up not. And it was a creative industry, a creative career, acting, that got him back on his feet and got him back in the game financially as well, which is incredible story that he was able to turn that around and have such a great career, starting basically as a double, a stand-in, a stunt guy, and then just taking on all these other roles and just continues to have one great show after another. So, and now directing and making his own movies, just a great journey, a great guy.
Yeah, tremendous success. He was actually before, this is funny, man, he told this in the Q&A, but he was doing, this whole kind of, coming in before the thing that happened with Denzel Washington, coming in and doing, some extra work and some stand-in work and these things and some small roles before the Denzel Washington thing. So he was already, in the career. And what he said is, this is a funny thing. He was pulling up to these gigs in $100,000 car. And everyone was like, how? And as you heard in the podcast, he was already, kind of well off. He was still had to climb out of that hole, but he was already well off before he took that sacrifice.
Right.
And he took the sacrifice, and now he's reaping the benefits. So there you go, Miles. More power. More power to you, brother.
Yes. Where there's a will, there's a way, which is a great transition to some of these films that we want to talk about that's getting all this buzz now in the entertainment industry and in Hollywood. And some are even saying, calling it Hollytube. This is the area of the YouTube creator gone big. And this is all brand new. We've never seen such small budgeted films do so well at the box office, right?
I've never heard Hollytube.
Yeah, Hollytube.
Hollytube. Okay. Yeah.
The new film school. The new film school is apparently YouTube now.
Yeah, but you know what, man? I told you, and we've had this conversation. Okay, whatever. We've seen this before, and it continues anyway. But you've seen it before because if there was no Robert Rodriguez, then okay, And Robert Rodriguez, his story, $7,000 for his first film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He sold his blood, for research.
Once Upon a Time,
money.
Right. In Austin, Texas, raised $7,000 to do this tiny film called El Mariachi, right? Then he even wrote a book about it, right? Making feature films at used car prices or something like that. And that launched his career, and that got him noticed by everybody in LA. And then he kind of turned that character into a franchise, right? With Antonio Banderas and made a career out of it. But, true to his roots, he never really fully got into the Hollywood thing. He always stayed kind of in the Austin area, started his own kind of studio there. He went on to do bigger movies, as we mentioned, including, something that's more in like the bigger kind of superhero genre with Spy Kids and that kind of thing.
And that made a ton of money. And that originated with him. He did the music, they did the VFX at his studio and all that.
Yes. Yeah. So he was able to build a real Hollywood career by making these smaller things in Austin and just kind of doing things his own way. And so the correlation now is, instead of going out and making the El Mariachis, do you make something that goes viral on YouTube? Use that as your springboard into the industry, right?
Yeah, but I do want to say something. I want to say two things. There is a connectivity. We have to give a shout out to our alum. He's now partners with Alexis Garcia, who you can listen to his podcast, Alexis Garcia, who lives here in Miami. And so they partnered and they went on this platform called Republic and raised some money connected to other creators to help to make their films and their projects. So they're paying it forward now. And see, it's a multiplier effect. And when people are like, this is it, this is new, even back in the day, there was Blair Witch. The Blair Witch Project that they made.
Speaking of Florida boys, that was
$30,000.
Right. UCF grads, I believe, that went to the film school in Central Florida, raised $30,000 and went off into, the forest somewhere and shot this found footage film, and that was actually at the early days of the internet, right? Where they did use sort of some viral guerrilla digital marketing, the whole idea being that this wasn't a fictional story. This was found footage that they were going to basically put into a theater, and you see what actually happened to these kids who got lost in the forest and this witch that went after them. And that was the whole part of that really fun marketing campaign that they put.
And that sparked the found footage, that whole movement.
That whole movement of found footage horror movies. Absolutely.
Yeah. So there is newness in this, in that, they're finding some of their audience on YouTube and, generating from YouTube, but look, I'm just going to go from project to project. Liminal, I knew about Liminal before A24 even came on board because it's part of my job, my company. We're a multimedia company, so we're always tracking. Yes, we do entertainment and all that stuff and films and all this, but on the other side, we do branding. So we have to track trends. And so games and all these things. And so Um, that filmmaker, he used Blender, which is a tool. It's like a 3D tool to make these back rooms, is what he called them, back rooms, and then turn that into it's like a horror kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, little mini ecosystem. And then that ecosystem became super popular. Used Reddit to spread the word, and it just blew up. So it wasn't just YouTube. He used a lot of different tools.
Right.
That's what, and this is what I'm saying. Like filmmakers, creators, they're going to use the tools that they have at hand. And so for me, this is really the filmmakers, the content creators using the tools that they have. It's not like, it is revolutionary in that YouTube is that tool, and YouTube, kind of goes back and whatever. But, Liminal was produced by A24. A24 at this point is a Hollywood company. Even from the start, it was, because the guys are from Guggenheim Investments and all these things. They were, it's not like they were, scraping from the bottom of the barrel, putting together A24.
Right. Yeah, these were money guys, financiers. They put this company together, just as, the Weinstein Company was kind of unwinding or just kind of coming down off of their glory days.
They filled that hole.
They filled that hole of the new Miramax or the new Weinstein Company, and created these really cool indie prestige movies that got the Oscar buzz. And obviously one of their first big hits, speaking of our Miami shout outs, right? Moonlight was, I believe, the first film they actually invested in as opposed to distributed. Obviously invested and distributed as co-producers of that. And we all know what that did, and launched the careers of two great Miamians, right? And Terrell McCraney and Barry Jenkins.
Terrell Alva McCraney. And before that, Spring Breakers. So Spring Breakers, another Florida project.
That's right.
But, A24 just grew and grew and grew and grew. And so they picked up Liminal, but they already have a machine, And so
they do. But look, it's still a challenge in today's marketplace to take this movie, right? I guess the original, the final title is The Backrooms, right? Kane Parsons, very young director. This kid who, he got a $10 million budget. He had some known actors.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah. So great actors who give amazing performances, which you need, I think, for a film like this to work. It really is the actors' tour de force performance that kind of drives the momentum. But still, $10 million budget, A24, is backing you up. You have this big following on YouTube that you're bringing with you as a filmmaker, and over $118 million at the box office. I mean, that's massive return on their investment. So,
and then you have Obsession, which is made for $1 million.
Right. Yeah. Tiny
made
budget.
Over 100 million.
Picked up by Focus Features, so that's they got. I mean, looking like the numbers now, almost $150 million that they've gotten back on that movie. And again, young guy, maybe not as young as Kane, but he's 26 years old, and now he has a huge hit under his belt. And some people are saying
his next two projects in line,
offering him 8 figures to direct his next movie, which I don't know if he knows what it is yet, but he's there. He's made it now. And this is another film that, again, huge return on investment. At the same time, it's interesting that when these movies are being released, as the summer blockbusters are starting to roll out. So right in the middle of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and the big sequel to Devil Wears Prada, movies that are generating a lot of money and buzz at the box office, to see these two more independent releases, art house, I guess you'll call them, coming out and just killing at the box office for a relatively small investment is interesting and hopeful. Maybe not because they're inventing the success of indie cinema, right? But because it's giving fresh blood into theaters. It's giving other young filmmakers a reason to keep pushing their projects. It's giving financiers a reason to roll the dice, right? So when you're out there with your decks and you're like, hey, it's The Backroom meets Obsession, and we're going to make it for $2 million, and look what that did. Hey, it put some wind in your sails, right? To get your projects off the ground.
Yeah, but here's another thing. It helped to bring some of the younger audience back to the theaters.
That's the big thing, is that Gen Z audience now that's starting to hit their stride and has a little bit of discretionary income. And a lot of folks were writing them off, saying, They don't want to go to the movies. They only want to stream. They want to watch movies on their cell phones. They want to be in this silo, isolated from the world when they're watching or consuming content. No, they want to go to movies. They want to sit there in a room full of people and experience something for the first time, right? As a community, as a group, whether it's friends, families, whoever they met on TikTok or
Yeah, and what's cool is from the pundits that said the theater is dead, which it is not. This is a banner. It's turning out to be a banner box office year. And so, since 2019, has it not hit these numbers? And there's still so many more movies to come out. A lot of people are talking about how I went to go see Mandalorian and Grogu. I love the movie. They're saying, it got knocked off its perch by YouTube. It didn't necessarily. That's what I'm saying. It's Disney versus A24, and back in the day, you would have said Disney versus Miramax or Disney versus the Weinstein Company. That's one. Obsession, I would say, I would compare that to Blair Witch, which Blair Witch actually is, for right now, because we don't know what Obsession's numbers are going to end up being, but Blair Witch was actually more bang for the buck, because I think Blair Witch, the final number on Blair Witch is about 250 million. And so you think about, they made it for 30. They had to throw another $200,000 in for, P&A and to kind of, pair it up for the screen and all that. There was more bang for the buck with that particular film for right now. Let's see what Obsession does. I'm going to watch it over the weekend. But there is one this one is like more of a true expression of YouTube, which is Markiplier. So Markiplier did, and we talked about this at the last Screen Heat Miami. He did Iron, and we've been tracking it. So we've been talking about this before the film even came out. But we talked about Markiplier and Iron Lung. So Iron Lung did phenomenally well. That's also made almost $100 million. He made that for $3 million, and he four-walled it. So he put it in theaters himself.
He's self-distributed.
Self-distributed. That's four-walled. He's self-distributed, and then go listen to the last Screen Heat Miami. He created a distribution that wasn't there along with YouTube over the YouTube platform for his digital sales. So for people to interface with the film in that particular way. And so for me, that's more of a true expression of this connectivity with the new YouTube generation.
Right. Creating your own community and your own audience and going straight to, was sort of at the heart of the interview we did with Ted Hope, right? Which, like you said, you can listen on our last podcast. And this Nandi movement that he's pushing, this idea that you can skip the traditional distributors, the A24s and the focuses, just kind of build your own audience and give them what they want and create what he calls a regular cadence of expressions. And basically, take it, whether it's your own theatrical tour, whether it's VOD, streaming, you can generate serious revenue with the right campaign and the right content and the right creator behind it. In this case, Markiplier.
And I'm going to bring up something, Ted Hope, I'd love, I have to get back and connect with him, but Ted Hope is connected, as you relate to me, to one of my favorite producers of all time, Christina Vachon.
Yes, they partnered on a lot of great indies together.
And you all look up Christina Vachon, because she is the independent filmmaker, producer. She's created so many careers, a big deal people. And welcome to the Doll House, which is one of my favorite films. She championed filmmakers early on, and one of those filmmakers is Spike Lee, young Spike Lee. Spike Lee was a grad student at NYU. He did a film called She's Gotta Have It, black and white film, and he couldn't finish it. Christina Vachon heard about it. She saw it. She loved it. She helped him to finish it. It went to Cannes, and that was the launch of a young Spike Lee's career. And so this is what I kind of caution when people are like, oh, yeah, this is something that is unheard of. It's new. It's fresh. It's cyclical.
Yeah.
It's
It's
been
That's
around.
what it is. Yeah. It's this thing where everything old becomes new again, right? And what we had lost, I think, over the last 10, 15, 20 years with all the bigger tentpole movies, the whole MCU and DC, was this idea that folks would go for a great story to a theater and fill a room without it having to be this massive IP, right? They
Yeah.
could be smaller films, whether you're going because it's a really cool horror movie that there's an amazing twist at the end, or a new take on something, or it's a really cool, hot, up and coming indie filmmaker that you just want to see their work, right? And they've been able now, because of the new tools available in social media, to build an audience, to create that trust, to be able to say, go out and see this movie, it's going to be good, and you're going to be supporting my work, and then share it with your friends and family. So that is something that I think we're seeing that's making a difference, and it's leading us into what the next evolution of this industry is going to be, which, is not going to be unlike possibly the early 90s, the Sundance Kids and these indie filmmakers making a name. It's just the way they get there is going to be different, right?
Power to the people.
Right. Yeah, it's bringing your own audience. It's that community effect of saying, "Hey, I'm here because I'm supporting this filmmaker, not because, I'm backing this big studio release or whatever. It's because this is my guy or this is my girl, and she's making this amazing movie, and I want to make sure I support it and I share it with my friends and family." So, and there's different ways to get there, but at the end of the day, it's telling a great story and getting it out in front of a lot of people. But I love the fact that we're still doing it in theaters, that we're kind of respecting that place as a sort of, not to get religious, a sacred place to watch.
It's our religion. What are you talking
Yes.
about?
Watch stories unfold, that harkens back even before screens, right? When the cave people sat in caves under a dark light and lit a match and would tell stories and shadows on a wall. That was the genesis of all this.
I still do that with my daughter.
There you go.
But this was the perfect interview, actually, to have this conversation, because you have someone like Miles who is connected to the DC and the Marvel universe, and then the point of this interview, a big point of it, was his film Homage, which is an indie film that just debuted at the American Black Film Festival, sold out. And so we're looking for big things from that particular film. There's a lot more things in store with Screen Heat Miami. This is what, our 85th episode?
Yeah, we're getting into our 80s now.
So until our next one, I'm Kevin Sharpley.
And I'm Jail Martinez.
This is Screen Heat Miami, and we will hear you and now see you on the next one.
Dale.
Boom.